Is Arcade 1UP really dead? Well, today we're going to find out. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host RT, and let's take a look at how the Arcade 1UP came to be and why it's in the position it's in today. So let's get started. So around 2018, 2019, the Arcade 1UP kind of showed up on the scene. And what made it cool was it was a great alternative to having an actual arcade machine in your home. Now, a real arcade machine is going to be heavy. It's going to cost a lot more money, a lot more maintenance, and on top of that, they're just not as common. You just can't go out and just say, I'm going to buy one today and get it today. What made the Arcade 1UP cool was it was small, compact, and cheap. It was only $300 at the time. Sometimes you could find them cheaper if you caught them on sale. So, looking through the lens of nostalgia, right? It was a great buy. It made sense at the time, and they were a huge hit. I mean, you had brand recognition. You had Pac-Man, you had Street Fighter 2, you had all kind of machines back then, or old machines played the old games. And in Generation 1, the only problem I think that hurt Generation 1 was the way it looked. The quality of buttons were bad, the joysticks were bad, and had no let-up marquee, and just looked similar to an arcade, but it was still off. It just didn't capture that arcade feel. Now, the plus on that was they were only $300. So moving into Generation 2, they improved a lot. They made, and I must mention, the riser. It came with a riser. So when you got the thing without the riser, it was small, and I'm not even a tall guy, but I had to hunch over to play it. And the space on the control panel, you needed more space for two people to legit play it. But people overlooked that. They're like, okay, we know what it is. It's not a real arcade, real commercial grade arcade. It's a consumer grade. It's something you have in your house and you mess around with. So moving forward with that, Generation 2 came, right? And they had the marquee light up. They redesigned the machine, but they still used a lot of Generation 1 parts. Okay, the controls were still bad. The sticks were still bad. Screen was still the same screen. And it looked pretty much the same, except cosmetically it improved. And the newer ones came after that with the online play. And I don't know if people really even use that. I didn't use it when I had mine. But, you know, it was a feature that they added. Then they also had a line of tabletop games. They also had the pinball machines, which I thought they did a really good job on. You had the buttons on the side for the flippers. It was a cool concept, you know what I mean? But I think after all that, what hurt them and kind of put them in the shape they're in now is the fact that a lot of the arcade machines had the same games. Okay, even if they improved the machine, the gameplay was still the same. And you're paying a premium price you're paying now, because you got to remember, they became more expensive, Generation 2. So now I'm looking at, instead of $300, I'm looking at $500, sometimes up to $600 and $700. And those machines, while they look better, they play the same games. Okay, there was no improvement to the game features, and they started around maybe about a couple of years ago. They started getting like fewer and fewer IPs. So a lot of the arcade machines were just recycled, the same game over and over. Maybe on this one I might get Street Fighter 2 Champion, Street Fighter Hyper. On this one I might get the Marvel series with, you know, Street Fighter thrown in or something like that. So they're just mix and matching old retro games. So once you bought one, it was kind of like, well, now I got to spend more money to get another one because I'm missing a game or two. Now, unless you're a collector, you're just not going to do that. Also, I think another thing that kind of hurt it was the fact that when these things first came out, content creators made tons and tons and tons of content about it. Good content, you know, but that's what they did. It was always something to talk about. What's coming up next for the Arcade 1UP? Here's my review of my Arcade 1UP, and so forth. And people were making, you know, a lot of videos with that. Well, now the well's kind of dried up, and you're not getting that. People are kind of like, almost, it's cool to hate on Arcade 1UPs, you know what I mean? That's kind of what's out there now, because people are kind of done with it. They haven't done nothing innovative. I think another part of it is just the fact that the repackaging, as far as like X-Men, you had the X-Men game, and then they came out with X-Men 97, but it had nothing to do with X-Men 97. You know, they came out with this NBA Jam. This last thing I've seen is NBA Jam, and they had NBA Jam already. I mean, what's different? Why am I paying all this money? It's not really like new releases. It's kind of the same stuff over and over and over again. And I think that's kind of where they're at now, where they're stuck, and they're supposed to have these XL arcades. Now they did have the Pro arcade, the Killer Instinct, and it was nice. It was nice. It came with legit Suzu Hap joysticks and buttons, so it was on par somewhat with the control scheme in the regular arcade you'd find. But that thing's $1,000, and it plays 5 games: Killer Instinct, Killer Instinct 2, Battletoads, Battletoads 8-bit, and Battletoads 16-bit. That's a hard sell for $1,000, because $1,000 now you're knocking on the door of commercial grade arcades. You can actually get a machine for $1,000, okay, which is superior in every way to this machine here. So I think the price, that's only for, I guess, hardcore collectors, but it was a lot. So I think with the fact of people making content drying up, and the fact that they didn't update their IPs and they're just repackaging and reselling the same stuff over and over, I think people just don't want to make that purchase anymore. And you can find these things now on like Facebook Marketplace. You can find them for cheap. You can find them like $150, $200. They don't cost a lot of money. On the upside, these machines are customizable. So a good selling point is, if you have one, most people would probably customize it over time. They keep it stocked for a while and customize it. So overall, my opinion is, I feel like they're in hot water right now. Nobody's rushing out to buy these things anymore, and unless they change something drastic, I mean, like get some good IPs. And I've made another video on what they can do to save themselves, what Arcade1Up can do to keep their brand alive, just some of my personal ideas. But I feel like if they don't do something real soon, then I don't think they're gonna be around too much longer. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And I, in no way, I do not hate Arcade1Up. I do have 2 Arcade1Up machines. Mine's are both modified though, but I do like, for what it is, I think it's pretty cool. Let me know what you think. If you have an Arcade1Up, if you sold yours, if you're a collector, you know, just let me know what you think about the Arcade1Up. Are they going to be around next year, 2025? That's going to do it for this one, guys. And as always, take care of your health, protect your inner peace, and God bless. We'll catch you on the next one.